Hello everyone, welcome to lecture number 3. Today we are going to start with S block elements. If you remember, elements of group 1 and 2. We have studied till now about the electronic configuration, their occurrence, and along with the occurrence we also studied the physical properties of the elements like atomic radii, ionic radii, ionization enthalpy, electronegativity, their hydration enthalpy. We also studied the melting and boiling points, density and reducing nature. And along with that, we also studied the metallic nature and electropositive nature. So now what we are going to start with is the chemical properties of group 1 and 2 elements. So when I say chemical properties of group 1 and 2 elements, means we are going to study how group 1 elements react with the other elements and how group 2 elements react with the other elements. And on the basis of that, what we are also going to discuss now is the reactivity. Which one is more reactive in nature? Are group 1 more reactive or group 2 more reactive? So starting with the first, here, when we talk about chemical property of alkali metal, means I'm going to discuss the initial part, that is group 1 metals. So we have reaction with water and moisture. Now, before we start with the chemical reactions, you need to know whenever we talk about reactions with group 1 elements will have a charge of +1, or you can remember they have a valency of 1 or they have an oxidation state of +1. So starting with that, see, group 1 elements, when I say when they react with water, you might have heard previously in your lower standards that sodium reacts vigorously with water. And when you put sodium metal in water, it catches fire. The fire is liberated, or fire is taken place because it releases a large amount of energy. And therefore you might have studied sodium is stored in kerosene. We normally store sodium in kerosene because it reacts with the oxygen in the air and it also reacts with the water. So therefore, to prevent both the reaction, we normally keep it in kerosene. So when we talk about group 1 elements, M means alkali metal. When you react it with water, you know water is what? H and OH. So metal being electropositive, it will go and react with the OH minus part. And when it reacts with the OH minus part, you know metal has a valency of +1. OH has a valency of -1. The simple formula that you have is metal hydroxide, MOH. This M can be your lithium metal, it can be sodium, it can be potassium. We say sodium and potassium are highly reactive elements. So lithium, when reacts with water, Li plus H2O, will give you lithium hydroxide. Second, Na plus H2O will give you NaOH, and so on. We can write down the reactions. All the group 1 elements react with water to form corresponding hydroxides. Now, as we move down the group, as we move from lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, francium being a radioactive element, we don't consider it. But if I talk about cesium, we say cesium is the most reactive element. Why? Because cesium is the one which is having the largest atomic size. क्योंकि उसका atomic size सबसे ज़्यादा बड़ा है. Distance between the nucleus and the electron is very large. If the distance between the nucleus and the electron is very large, मतलब आप वहाँ से electron बहुत easily remove कर सकते हो. And therefore, we say down the group reactivity goes on increasing. Means cesium being the most reactive one. So most reactive is cesium, least reactive is lithium. Now when we talk about these compounds, hydroxides, you know these hydroxides are bases. We have also called them as alkali metal, means they are soluble in water. So we say which one is the most basic in nature. So you can see when we move from lithium hydroxide to cesium hydroxide, what happens? Lithium is a small metal, sodium a bigger metal, then potassium, rubidium and cesium. So in this way, the size of the metal goes on increasing. And you also have this OH minus ion. And the size of the OH minus ion remains same. So in this way, as you move down, what happens to bond length? You can see the bond length goes on increasing. If bond length increases, means the strength of your bond will decrease. And if the strength of the bond will decrease, means you can break this bond very easily. And if you can break this bond very easily, it means that this compound will give you OH minus ion very easily. And if it gives that OH minus ion very easily, what does it indicate? It indicates that it is a strong base. So we say down the group, basicity of oxides and hydroxides increases. So you can write down what? You can write down the group, basicity of hydroxides goes on increasing, and therefore lithium hydroxide is the weak base, and others, all of them from group 1 are highly basic in nature. So first put the heading chemical properties of group 1 and 2 elements. Write down reaction with water, or you can say moisture, and you have over here group 1 elements. So you can write down everything what you can see. Now we'll move ahead. We'll move to group 2. Now group 2 elements, when they react with water, you need to know that group 2 elements, they have a charge or oxidation state of +2. So when I say reaction with water only, now we are studying for group 2. Now metal, when reacts with water, H2O, you know metal will have a charge of +2, and with water it goes with OH -1. So you will have a compound formula MOH twice, and hydrogen gas will be released. So in this way, if I write down the reaction, you can see HOH, you need to balance this reaction. This is group 2, and when I say M represents your group 2 metals. Now talking about reaction with water, as we studied for group 1, we say group 2 elements also, the reactivity goes on increasing down the group. When I say beryllium, we say beryllium is the one which will not react, does not react with boiling water. Means we can simply say beryllium will not react with water to form hydroxide. Talking about magnesium, you know magnesium reacts with boiling water. And talking about the other elements after magnesium, we have calcium, strontium, and barium. Radium being radioactive, I'm not considering. We say they react vigorously even with cold water. You can again remember that down the group, reactivity for group 2 elements with water goes on increasing. You might have studied in your lower standard, they have a question, calcium floats on water. Why? You know calcium, when you react it with water, it will form calcium hydroxide and it releases hydrogen gas. Means it is going to produce some bubbles. Hydrogen gas, as it is formed, it is going to produce some bubbles, and those bubbles which are formed, because of that, calcium will float on water. So that is one of the reason you can say why calcium floats on water. So this is your reaction with group 2 element. And same way, as I said, the elements beryllium, you know beryllium is not going to behave as a strong base, whereas other magnesium hydroxide, calcium hydroxide, they are strong bases. When I say beryllium, we say beryllium forms oxide or hydroxide which is amphoteric in nature. You can make a note of it. Beryllium oxide or beryllium hydroxide is amphoteric in nature. When I say amphoteric, means it will behave as both acid as well as basic oxide. Whereas the other elements in the group, they are all basic oxides, or you can say basic hydroxide. You can write down this with respect to reaction with water, group 2 elements. So hoping you all are done. We'll move to the second chemical reaction. Reaction with air. When I say air, you know air consists of two main components. One is oxygen, the other one is nitrogen. So when I say reaction with air, we are going to study both of them. We are going to start with oxygen and then reaction with nitrogen for group 1 and group 2 both. First, when I say oxygen, you know oxygen has a charge of -2 generally, and metal here has a charge of +1. So when we talk about reaction with air, you know sodium and potassium, they react vigorously with oxygen. They can catch fire. So here when I say metal plus oxygen, they are going to form a corresponding metal oxide. Starting with the group 1 first element, you can see M plus O2. As I said, metal have a charge of +1, and oxygen, if it forms an oxide, it will have a charge of -2. So when you cross multiply it, the formula is N2O. And this is the formula for metal oxide. And we say lithium, Li, will be reacting with oxygen, Li plus O2, to form Li2O, lithium monoxide, where the charge of oxygen is -2. Next, group 1 elements can also form peroxides. That is, sodium mostly forms peroxide. When I say peroxide, you need to remember peroxide is what? Which will have O linkage. You'll have two oxygen atoms forming bonds with each other. And because they have forming bonds with each other, the total charge is -2. And the charge of one oxygen atom is -1. So you can see when you react, this is a general formula you get. You can see over here, if I write down this, metal has a charge of +1, and oxygen, peroxide mein O has a charge. I will write down over here, peroxide, O has a charge of -1. But here you need to remember, peroxide is always going to be two oxygen atoms. So if O has a charge of -1, O2 will have a charge of -2. So when you cross multiply this, the formula that you get is this, M2O2. So in group 1 element, sodium, when reacts with oxygen in excess, it forms sodium peroxide, Na2O2. Next, when we talk about the other elements, like after sodium, we have potassium, rubidium, and cesium. And these elements, they are going to form superoxide. Now, when we say superoxide means again you'll have OO linkage. But here, when we talk about OO linkage, you can see the charge on the two oxygen atoms is -1. If the charge on two oxygen atoms is -1, what is the charge on one oxygen atom? That will be -1/2. So in case of superoxides, O will have a charge of -1/2. So you can see O2 will have a charge of -1, and metal has a charge of +1. So when you cross multiply, the formula that we get is MO2. So we have potassium, rubidium, and cesium, which are going to form superoxides. So when we talk about reaction with air, oxygen, repeating again, group 1 element, first element, lithium forms lithium monoxide, sodium forms sodium peroxide, potassium forms potassium superoxide. Repeating again, in case of monoxide, the charge of O is -2. In case of peroxide, the charge of O, oxygen, is -1. And for O2, it becomes -2. For superoxide, the charge of O is -1/2. You can have a question that in case of sodium peroxide Na2O2, what is the charge of oxygen? So the charge of oxygen O is -1. In case of superoxides, the charge of O is -1/2. So you can write down this reaction for group 1 elements. So as you are done with this, now if I say take a deep breath, you know, when you talk about taking a deep breath, what you require? We require oxygen. We are going to inhale oxygen and give out carbon dioxide. So what is the use of this experiment now over here? You can see when we talk about potassium superoxide, KO2. Potassium superoxide, when it reacts with water, it forms KOH and oxygen. So you can see when you react potassium superoxide with water, it gives out oxygen. And same this KOH which has been formed, it can react with carbon dioxide to form potassium bicarbonate, KHCO3. Why I'm telling you this reaction over here? क्योंकि you can see KO2 ऑक्सीजन प्रोड्यूस कर रहा है और कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड कंज्यूम कर रहा है. हम लोग को हमारे रिएक्शन में, इफ आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट द प्रोसेस ऑफ ब्रीथिंग और रेस्पिरेशन, यू इनहेल ऑक्सीजन, आपको इनहेल करने के लिए ऑक्सीजन चाहिए और आपको बाहर देने के लिए कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड होता है. सो अगर इफ यू आर इन अ क्लोज्ड पैक्ड रूम, जहां पे आपको लगता है कि ऑक्सीजन का कोई सोर्स नहीं हो सकता है, तो यू कैन यूज पोटेशियम सुपर ऑक्साइड ओवर देयर. पोटेशियम सुपर ऑक्साइड वाटर के साथ रिएक्ट करके ऑक्सीजन देगा विच यू कैन इनहेल, एंड इफ यू इनहेल ऑक्सीजन विल गिव आउट कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड. तो रूम में, वो जो क्लोज रूम है वहां पे कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड नहीं होना चाहिए, तो वो कंज्यूम भी करना चाहिए. पोटेशियम हाइड्रोक्साइड जो बना है वो कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड को कंज्यूम करेगा एंड फॉर्म पोटेशियम बाइकार्बोनेट. And therefore this potassium superoxide is of very much use as a breathing equipment in submarines, or you can say when you're going at high altitudes where you require oxygen. So mostly it is used in submarines as a breathing equipment. You can write down KO2 potassium superoxide is used in submarines as a breathing equipment, and you can write down these two reactions. It's a very important use of potassium superoxide. So talking about these oxides, you can see we studied that oxide ion in which O has a charge of -2. In case of peroxide, we studied the O has a charge of -1. And in case of superoxide, we saw that the charge of O is -1/2. So moving ahead, we say small cation can be stabilized by a small anion. So you can see over here, when we talk about lithium, it has oxide, sodium has peroxide, and potassium, rubidium, and cesium, they are superoxides. In this, we remember that lithium is the only one which forms monooxide. Sodium is the one that will form sodium will form peroxide. Potassium, rubidium, and cesium, they are going to form superoxides. We say down the group, stability of superoxides increases. Why? As you said, you know, in this blue cloud which we studied, it said smaller cation is stabilized by smaller anion. As the size of the superoxide ion is increased, the size of the ions, potassium, rubidium, cesium, which one is more? Cesium is more. So it will be more stabilized by superoxide ion. So we say which one is more stable? KO2, RbO2, and CSO2. So it is CSO2. Why? Atomic size, or you can say ionic size, increases. So this is what you need to write down with respect to group 1 elements and their reaction with oxygen. So moving with group 2 elements. Now when I say group 2 elements, and their reaction with oxygen, you can see metal M plus O2. Now you know group 2 elements, they have a charge of +2. Oxygen, that is if it forms oxide, will have a charge of -2. So when you cross multiply, you get M2O2, which can be stabilized as MO. So this is your metal oxide. Now, when I say metal oxides, which elements will form metal oxide? We have the first one, beryllium and magnesium, correct? Actually, when I talk about reactions, calcium, Ca plus O2 will also give you CaO. So here, the important point that you need to write down, it's not beryllium and magnesium. It's magnesium, beryllium, magnesium, and calcium. All these three will react to give you metal oxide. Now, moving ahead, as we have the other elements, we have what? Strontium, barium, and radium. We say these elements, when they react with oxygen, they are going to form peroxides. As you remember, peroxide is what? O-O linkage. And as we said, in case of peroxide, O has a charge of -1 and O2 has a charge of -2. So -2 and this is 2. So when you cross multiply this, you can see the general formula that you get is M2O4. Now when I say M2O4, I need to simplify it and becomes MO2, Mo2. So which elements are going to form O2? We have strontium, barium, and radium. Means if I say Be plus O2, you'll have BeO. Mg plus O2, MgO. Ca plus O2, CaO. And if I say Sr, strontium plus O2, that should be SrO2. Ba plus O2 will give you BaO2, peroxide. So this is with respect to group 2 elements. And as you know, we say as we move down, they are going to form oxides which are basic in nature. Beryllium oxide, as I said, it is amphoteric. BeO will be amphoteric in nature. So this is a reaction of oxygen with group 2 elements. So if you all remember, we were studying reaction with air. So air में हमने oxygen कर लिया, अब हम nitrogen की तरफ jump करते हैं. Now, metal plus nitrogen, when it reacts, it gives you metal nitride. When I say metal nitride, metal here will have a charge of +1 and nitrogen will have a charge of -3. So you can see when we cross multiply M plus 1, N minus 3, you get is M3N, metal nitride. This is how the structure looks. Now in this case, when I say metal nitride, the very first element, lithium, Li plus N2 will give Li3N, lithium nitride. And you can see the very important point over here is lithium, when reacts with nitrogen, it forms nitride. Only lithium forms nitride. Other group 1 elements do not react with nitrogen. So if I ask you in the question anywhere, if you see Na plus N2, no reaction. K plus N2, no reaction. Then you have Rb plus N2, no reaction. Only lithium forms nitride. A very important point to note down. Li plus N2 will give you Li3N. Other group 1 elements do not react with nitrogen. Done with this? Next, as we're done with group 1 elements, we'll study the reaction of group 2 elements. So when I say group 2 elements, when they react with nitrogen, you can see metal plus nitrogen, it is going to form a corresponding nitride. You know the reaction, metal M plus 2, N minus 3. The formula that you get is M3N2. It is like if I say Mg plus N2, you get Mg3N2, magnesium nitride. If I say Be plus N2, Be3N2. If I say Ca plus N2, Ca3N2. In this I can say all group 2 elements can come. It is ELEMENTS. Now, these metal nitrides, you can see M3N2, metal nitride. When I reacted with water, you know water means H and OH. So this metal nitride, when it reacts with water, you know metal will go with OH. You'll get your metal hydroxide, MOH twice. And nitrogen will react with hydrogen. So N, you know it is 3. This is +1. The formula that you get is NH3. So the important point that we note down over here is when metal nitrides, group 2 metal nitrides, react with water, they are going to release which gas? Ammonia gas. So in this way, you need to balance the reaction. We have 3 metal, M3. So I'll write down 3. Nitrogen, we have 2. So 3 2s are 6. 3 2s are 6. 6 plus 6, 12. H2. This is your reaction. Just need to remember group 2 metal nitrides, when they react with water, they release ammonia gas. So we are done with reaction with water. We are done reaction with air. In that we studied oxygen, we studied nitrogen. Next, reaction with hydrogen. Now when I say reaction with hydrogen, group 1 metals, when they react with hydrogen, they are going to form hydride. and you know both of them have a charge of 1, +1 and -1. So the formula is M1H1, that is MH. So we say group 1 elements, all of them can form hydrides. We say LiH, NaH, KH, RBH and CH. Very important over here, lithium can form hydride at a very high temperature, that is 1000 Kelvin. Lithium forms hydride at 1000 Kelvin, whereas other metals can react at even 673 Kelvin. This indicates that the reactivity with other alkali metals, it goes on increasing. And in this you can see one very important point, lithium hydride when we say is the most stable hydride. Why it is the most stable hydride? क्योंकि जब लिथियम का एटम का साइज और हाइड्रोजन का एटम का साइज दोनों का साइज छोटा है, मतलब बॉन्ड लेंथ कम होगा, बॉन्ड लेंथ कम होगा तो स्ट्रेंथ बहुत ज्यादा होगा, and therefore we call it as the most stable hydride. You need to remember the example of a rubber band. आप रबर बैंड को जितना ज्यादा स्ट्रेच करते हो, जितना स्ट्रेच करोगे उसका स्ट्रेंथ कम होता जाता है, वो इजीली टूट जाता है. मतलब बॉन्ड लेंथ लंबा, यू कैन ब्रेक दैट पेंसिल. इफ इट इज बिगर, यू कैन ब्रेक दैट पेंसिल इजीली. छोटा बॉन्ड लेंथ आप इजीली उसको तोड़ नहीं सकते, इसलिए वो सबसे ज्यादा स्टेबल होता है. सेम इफ आई से ग्रुप, ये हो गया मेटल विद हाइड्रोजन फॉर ग्रुप 1. If I say group 2, you know group 2 metal M plus H2. मेटल का चार्ज यहाँ कितना है? +2, H का -1. क्रॉस मल्टीप्लाई करोगे तो यू गेट इज मेटल हाइड्राइड. लाइक इफ आई से Mg plus H2, क्या मिलेगा? MgH2, metal magnesium hydride. If I say calcium plus hydrogen, CaH2, कैल्शियम हाइड्राइड. यू नो कैल्शियम हाइड्राइड CaH2 इसका एक कॉमन नेम है जो आप लोग याद रख सकते हो, एंड दैट इज कॉल्ड एज हाइड्रोलिथ. हाइड्रोलिथ. Very important, when I say metal plus hydrogen will react to MH2, this is except beryllium. बेरिलियम हाइड्राइड फॉर्म करता है बट डायरेक्ट रिएक्शन से नहीं, मतलब Be plus H2 आपको BeH2 मिलेगा? नो, नेवर. हाँ, बेरिलियम हाइड्राइड अगर मुझे बनाना है तो यू कैन सी बेरिलियम क्लोराइड BeCl2. इफ आई रिएक्ट इट विद अ स्ट्रॉन्ग रेड्यूसिंग एजेंट लिथियम एल्यूमिनियम हाइड्राइड, lithium aluminium hydride, beryllium will react with hydrogen to give me BeH2, and lithium being a metal reacts with chlorine to give you LiCl. Aluminium being a metal reacts with chlorine to give you AlCl3. This is your reaction. BeH2. The reaction is not balanced, I feel. Now it's balanced. Okay. So ये जो reaction मैंने लिख के दिया ये वाला, this is with, you can remember with respect to entrance only. NCERT में मिलेगा, बोर्ड्स में हमें नहीं पढ़ना है कि बेरिलियम हाइड्राइड डायरेक्टली फॉर्म नहीं करता है. बेरिलियम हाइड्राइड कंपाउंड मिलेगा बट इट इज नॉट फॉर्म बाय डायरेक्ट रिएक्शन विद hydrogen. So this is with reaction with hydrogen for group 1 and group 2 elements. You can write down this. Next is reaction with halogen. Halogen means group 17 elements, and you know metals, they have strong reactivity for group 17 elements. So you can see metal plus X2 will give you what? Mx, क्योंकि दोनों का valency 1 है. We say down the group reactivity increases. Lithium least reactive, cesium बहुत reactive, and in case of halogens we say fluorine is the most reactive. You know, the most electronegative element. तो metal बहुत easily किसके साथ react करता है? cesium और fluorine जो है वो बहुत violently react करेंगे क्योंकि दोनों भी बहुत reactive हैं अपने केस में. यहीं पे if I talk about the other one, you can see यहाँ पे if I say Li plus F2 will give you LiF. LiF is insoluble in water. जबकि हम बाकी हैलाइड्स की बात करेंगे, Na plus Cl2 you get NaCl. NaCl पानी में डिसॉल्व होता है, but LiF is insoluble in water. Why? Because as I said, LiF दोनों भी एटम्स का साइज कम है, बॉन्ड लेंथ छोटा है, स्ट्रेंथ बहुत ज्यादा है, एंड यू कैन नॉट ब्रेक द बॉन्ड इजीली, एंड इसीलिए LiF वाटर में insoluble होगा. Same if we study for group 2 elements. This is for group 1. When I say group 2, m plus x2 will give me mx2. You know it, this m can be all group 2 elements except beryllium. Like if I say Mg plus Cl2, MgCl2, Ca plus Cl2, CaCl2, you'll get corresponding halides. But if I talk about beryllium, beryllium directly halide नहीं बनाता है. So वो halide बनाएगा कैसे? Again, this is with respect to NCERT, not for your boards. नहीं पढ़ा तो भी चलेगा. Beryllium ऑक्साइड कार्बन और क्लोरीन के साथ रिएक्ट करता है at a temperature of 600 to 800 Kelvin. And that too, this is a reversible reaction to give you BeCl2 and carbon monoxide. And similarly, we have other reactions also, but ये एक काफी है आज के लिए बताने के लिए कि बेरिलियम हैलाइड जो है वो डायरेक्टली नहीं बनेगा. सेम एज जैसे बेरिलियम हाइड्राइड was not forming directly, same way halogens भी directly react नहीं करेंगे. You can write down this with respect to reaction with halogen, group 1 and 2. Next, very important, solubility in liquid ammonia. Now, when I say group 1 elements, इनका reaction liquid ammonia और dry ammonia का अलग-अलग होता है. We say group 1 elements, that is alkali metals, all of the alkali metals, lithium, sodium, potassium, they are soluble in liquid ammonia. And जब वो liquid ammonia में dissolve होते हैं, तो they will give you a deep blue solution. You can say it will give you a blue colored solution when dilute. क्यों? Because of the presence of ammoniated electrons in the solution. Now when I say group 1 element, आप कोई भी group 1 element को जब liquid ammonia में डालोगे, तो क्या होता है? Metal, it has tendency to lose that electron. So metal loses its electron and becomes a positive cation. You'll get M plus and electron minus. So M जो है metal ion वो अमोनिया के साथ रिएक्ट करेगा. Even electron जो है वो भी अमोनिया के साथ रिएक्ट करेगा. So you can see metal reacts with ammonia to give you M plus. First repeating again, देखो metal क्या दे रहा है आपको? दो ions, दो चीजें देगा, M plus और इलेक्ट्रॉन. ये जो मेटल M प्लस है वो भी अमोनिया का कॉम्प्लेक्स बना रहा है. इलेक्ट्रॉन जो रिलीज किया है वो भी अमोनिया का कॉम्प्लेक्स बना रहा है. अब कितने मेटल आयन अमोनिया का कॉम्प्लेक्स बना रहे हैं, दैट इज नॉट नोन टू अस, देयरफॉर वी राइट इट एज x. इलेक्ट्रॉन्स कितने अमोनिया का कॉम्प्लेक्स बना रहे हैं, दैट इज आल्सो नॉट नोन टू अस, सो वी राइट इट ओवर हियर एज y. सो अमोनिया कितना है, x एंड y, इसलिए इक्वेशन को बैलेंस करने के लिए लिखा है x plus y. So here you have what? This is called as ammoniated cation, क्योंकि अमोनिया है इसलिए ammoniated cation, and इसको हम बोलते हैं ammoniated electron. So from this we say जो electrons हैं they are very excited. Like एक metal ion हम जो बोलते हैं उनका ionization enthalpy बहुत कम होता है group 1 का, because they have tendency to lose an electron, and those electrons have very high energy to absorb energy. Sorry, they have very much high tendency to absorb energy. And जैसे ही वो एनर्जी अब्जॉर्ब करते हैं वो नॉर्मली कौन सा रीजन से अब्जॉर्ब करेंगे, विजिबल रीजन, जिसको हम विबग्योर बोलते हैं. सो नॉर्मली इट विल अब्जॉर्ब एनर्जी ऑफ विबग्योर में से रेड रीजन ऑफ द स्पेक्ट्रम. स्पेक्ट्रम का रेड रीजन से अब्जॉर्ब के जो ट्रांसमिट करेगा वो उसका कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री कलर होता है. तो रेड का कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री कलर दैट यू गेट इज ब्लू, एंड देयरफॉर द सॉल्यूशन अपीयर्स ब्लू. As I said, मेटल को जैसे ही अमोनिया में डालोगे इट विल गिव यू टू आयंस, एक है पॉजिटिव कैटायन एंड दूसरा इलेक्ट्रॉन. पॉजिटिव कैटायन भी अमोनिया का कॉम्प्लेक्स बनाएगा जिसको हम बोलते हैं अमोनिएटेड कैटायन, एंड इलेक्ट्रॉन जो रहेगा वो भी अमोनिया का कॉम्प्लेक्स बनाएगा जिसको हम बोलते हैं अमोनिएटेड इलेक्ट्रॉन और सॉल्वेटेड इलेक्ट्रॉन. कोई और सॉल्यूशन सॉल्वेंट रहा तो सॉल्वेटेड, बट अमोनिया है तो हम अमोनिएटेड इलेक्ट्रॉन बोल सकते हैं. नाउ यू कैन सी, as we talk about solubility, we saw that all the alkali metals are soluble in liquid ammonia, and क्योंकि वो soluble हैं, they are going to release electrons. Because of the free electrons, we say the solution is conducting in nature. And ये conductivity और बढ़ेगी अगर आप solution को cool करोगे, and अगर temperature को increase करोगे तो conductivity will decrease. इसी के साथ साथ because of the presence of ammoniated electrons, we say the solution is strongly reducing, and इसीलिए हम इसको strong reducing agent की तरह use करते हैं under the name Birch reduction. It is not there in your syllabus now, so Birch reduction के इसके बारे में कुछ पढ़ने की जरूरत नहीं है. वी से क्योंकि फ्री इलेक्ट्रॉन्स है, आपने पढ़ा रहेगा अगर सोल्यूशन के पास फ्री अनपेयर्ड इलेक्ट्रॉन्स हैं तो सोल्यूशन कैन बी मैग्नेटिक इन नेचर एंड देयरफॉर वी से द सॉल्यूशंस आर पैरामैग्नेटिक। बट अगर जैसे मैंने ग्रुप वन मेटल को लिक्विड अमोनिया में डाला और उसको ऐसे ही रख दिया बहुत देर के लिए, if I keep it as it is for a long time, what happens is the ammonia becomes dry, and because it ammonia becomes dry, it results in the formation of amide. Ammonia से amide. So you can see we have metal cation, we have electron, and we have liquid ammonia. And this liquid ammonia, if it becomes dry or if it is kept as it is for a long time, what happens is it gives you metal amide, and it results in the release of hydrogen, metal amide, which results in the liberation of hydrogen gas. And because जितने भी फ्री इलेक्ट्रॉन थे अब वो फ्री इलेक्ट्रॉन नहीं है, तो सोल्यूशन का कलर भी चेंज हो जाएगा। कलर क्यों था? क्योंकि कलर energy was absorbed by the electron. Now if you don't have free electron, the energy changes, the color of the solution changes, and therefore we say the color changes from blue to bronze, solution changes from paramagnetic to diamagnetic. मतलब पहले unpaired था तो magnetic property था, अब unpaired नहीं है electron तो it becomes diamagnetic. So you can write down first, आप इतना ही लिखो, solubility in liquid ammonia, the liquid metals dissolved in liquid ammonia giving blue solution due to the presence of ammoniated electron. If you want, you can write down इसके नीचे ammoniated cation, इसके नीचे ammoniated electron, and the solution is blue because of the presence of ammoniated electron. Solution is paramagnetic because of ammoniated electron. सबका reason एक ही है, ammoniated electron. After this, you can write down this point. They are conducting due to the presence of ammoniated electrons. No need to write down all these points. Then write down this. The solution is paramagnetic and standing for a long time. It forms amide by liberation of hydrogen gas. Am denotes ammonia, and the solution turns from blue to bronze and diamagnetic. This is what you can write down. Next, group 2. जैसे ग्रुप वन के सारे एलिमेंट्स लिक्विड अमोनिया में सॉल्युबल हैं, ग्रुप टू के भी सारे एलिमेंट्स लिक्विड अमोनिया में सॉल्युबल हैं, बट हियर द कलर इज डीप ब्लू ब्लैक। एंड व्हेन आई से ग्रुप टू एलिमेंट्स, जब आप मेटल को लिक्विड में डालोगे तो मेटल विल लूज 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स, तो मेटल के ऊपर चार्ज भी क्या हो जाएगा? +2, M+2 and 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन। सो यू कैन सी M+2 अमोनिया का कॉम्प्लेक्स बना रहा है, इट इज अगेन अमोनिएटेड कैटायन, एंड 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन रिलीज हुए हैं, तो वो 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन अमोनिया कैट कॉम्प्लेक्स बनाएंगे। मतलब with respect to one metal you have 2 electrons, with respect to 2 metals you have 4 electrons, and that way you can see the balancing goes x plus 2y, क्योंकि 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन रिलीज हुए हैं, सो एक मेटल के साथ 2 अमोनिया रहेंगे इलेक्ट्रॉन में। सो सॉरी, हर एक मेटल के पास 2 अमोनिएटेड इलेक्ट्रॉन्स रहेंगे। So you can see the balancing is x plus 2y. The only difference is there the color of the solution was deep blue. Here we say the color of the solution is deep blue black. Means itna dark blue hai ki it appears to be black. So you can write down this with respect to group 2 elements. Next, last, which we've already done, that is reducing nature. Now when we talk about reducing nature, if you all remember, we studied that reducing nature means to undergo the process of oxidation, and when I say oxidation means loss of electron. We say group 1 metals, alkali metals are excellent reducing agent, and we also studied that lithium ion is the strongest, sodium is the least in the group. Reducing property जो है वो किस पे डिपेंड करती है? in terms of electrode potential, and all group 1 and group 2 elements का जो electrode potential का value है वो negative है. Negative means they have tendency to undergo or behave as reducing agent. But alkaline, earth metal and alkali metal, group 1 और group 2 को compare करोगे तो group 1 they are excellent, and group 2 they are lesser as compared to group 1 elements. And as I said, lithium ion is the strongest reducing agent, sodium is the least strongest in the group. So this is all with respect to chemical properties of group 1 and group 2 elements. In the next class, we'll meet you all to start with the diagonal relationship. हम पढ़ेंगे uses of alkali and alkaline earth metals, And along with uses, we're also going to study biological importance. Till then, have a nice day. Take care.